Right, guys, I just thought I'd go live just at closing bell there. I'll be honest, I genuinely thought closing bell was in an hour's time just because our clocks haven't went forward. So I do apologize for missing that closing bell. But let me get you updated on everything that's been happening over the day. This one's not going to be too long, but your portfolio. So let me jump straight across to it. Yeah? So jumping across, I've had to go with interactive brokers. We're waiting within the next 24 hours. We will be online with our community portfolio. So, guys, bit of excitement there. Jump in, tell me what stocks you think we should buy straight away. But jumping across over the market, the S&P did climb up 1.09% today. It's all to do with Trump and the negotiations seem seeming to be taking place with Iran. Now, I can get you a few articles that have come out recently, but as far as we're aware now, Trump was in proof this morning. Trump has been negotiating with Iran. Now, Russia has came out and they have urged that let me just throw this in there. So Russia have urged Iran to end the hostilities immediately and move towards a diplomatic solution. And guys, for Russia to jump across and want these to go towards a diplomatic solution, it is really saying something. The US has said that there is around a dozen mines in the Strait of Hormuz, and these will have to be removed before they open it up. They said it could take around 5 days from when they actually officially open it again. So I wouldn't expect oil to start jumping. It will have a little relax as we come to a negotiating deal, but at the same time, there is going to be a bottleneck through that Strait of Hormuz. Then going across, Iran says that the US rejected two key conditions to end the war: reparations and admitting it initiated the aggression. This is not gonna happen. Trump is not going to say he initiated the aggression, and my whole thoughts are that it wasn't them at all. There was a lot of tension between Israel and themselves. But you're gonna wonder, where do Israel fit in all of this? Well, Benjamin Netanyahu did come out and said that Trump has informed him of this deal. However, they've come out and said, "We heard you and we're not necessarily doing what you said. The alliance is intact. The alignment is another question." And that's the thing. I don't think Israel actually want tensions to relieve in this whole conflict. This has been set for 40 years, a conflict between the nations. Israel are happy that the US really is most concerned about the US just pulling out. Once the US pull out, it's going to be very similar to what we have seen previously. The problem is we have Lebanon getting involved, and yeah, it's just a bit tricky having that whole Israel situation. But look, the markets did like it today. End of day, it did finish 1.09% up. Ondas had a really good day. I seen they're acquiring a so that again, I said Ondas either get a deal every second day or they acquire a company. We seen only the day before they were buying shares of Unusual Machines. Yeah, Zeta up 4.19%. This was in his pick the last day. Iron 2.11% up. Archer did finish quite clean, but at the same time, we wanna regain that $6 range. 2.29% up. Now this one really 0.54% up. Joby Aviation, I actually thought we're going back into the 50 range, especially with some. flights going on, and I thought it would build a lot of excitement around the sector, and I even thought you'd have people reallocating from not only other positions, but from the likes of virtual aviation and beta technologies. I thought they'd be jumping into job aviation, and I've said it, that job aviation is tried and trusted. It's the safer bet if you're betting on commercialization of air taxis. I think that is their sole business model. Archer, I think, are going down a more defensive route until they get capital on board and then start drive forward with the manufacturing of the aircraft. But for a sole commercialization play, I think Joby is good. Yes, some people are gonna say jump in and say that L3Harris are involved with Joby, but I don't actually think that is going to be a massive, massive part of the business. And I'm not worried about that because why I initially invested in Joby Aviation was the commercial side of the business. What is wrong with the mic today? Can you hear me? Let me see. Do let me know, can you hear me? Is it gone weird or what is it? Christian said, "Oh, yes, better now." So it's probably where I had it situated. We're gonna keep running with the Bulls. Yes, thank you, my guy. Sounds good. Right, so Ondas was my best stock today. Now, Chris, did any of yours run anymore after our chat earlier? We know Chris was up 7%, 9% in certain positions. Graberna, big shout out, my guy. Yes, you can hear me. Christian can hear me. Christian, you done very well jumping out of Palantir, or not Palantir, Planet Labs when you did. Um, Planet Labs did fall. Oh no, it finished 0.03%, but you sold it right up the top here, 30% up there on Friday. Beta Technologies did do a little bit of a recovery, but was down around 7%. It pushed away all down 10% on Friday. So Beta Technologies did recover a little bit. Velo is your top gainer today. Where did Velo finish? Velo finished 12.76% up. Velo actually might be one we could add to the watch list because that looks interesting. Velo is a 3D printer. Didn't you say they had a contract with SpaceX? Was that Velo? Um, Chris, or am I thinking of something else? Do let me know. Then CVV and OPTX. We will have a look at them in 2 minutes. Redwire actually finished the day green, 1.69%. We've seen Redwire was pushing down all the way around 5% earlier on, but a nice turnaround did happen. PANW of 0.68. Lunar did do okay today, and Short of Machines did push up. I actually think I have Lunar on here, don't I? Um, yeah, there we go. 13.91% up. Is anyone buying in Short of Machines? They've had two partially successful landings on the moon. Now, isn't there word that they got another contract? So maybe Lunar's a nice one to jump into. I think I keep toying with the idea of Redwire, but at the moment, I'm just pretty happy with Rocket Lab as my space play. Saying that, Ascent Solar have said they want to do space-based solar as well. So I don't know. Ascent Solar does look quite nicely. Nvidia up 1.73%. It didn't surprise me that they recovered. There was no reason for them to go down apart from the macro conditions. Did any of you guys buy Tesla there on Friday? It jumped all the way down to 364, I believe, or so. Yeah, 364.69. So that would have been a nice little steal if you jumped into Tesla. We were saying that anything below this $400 range is a complete steal, and I am as bad as many for never adding to Tesla on its dips. I don't know why I always feel like it's gonna push lower, but I've been proven wrong many, many times. Horizon Aircraft starting to give up a little bit. Once we've given up that 180 range, it seems to be flat. But didn't I say Horizon Aircraft seems to do the opposite to whatever else the market does? So retail's holding that quite nicely. Are people just reallocating their positions at the moment because Horizon Aircraft did hold quite nicely through that scare? And I'm not saying that the scare is over. The thumbnail may be a little bit premature, but do we think that this week is going to finish green? We have 36% of you saying yes, 14% you saying no, and 50% of you saying I hope, but I doubt it. Guys, do smash that like button, also smash that subscribe button. Do you know one thing that's quite interesting too? I noticed this in the last stream. If everyone could go into the live chat there and see the reactions where you can leave a heart, smash that about 20 times for me because that really helps us in the algorithm. I really didn't know that. So if you could smash that heart or you can smash the party, do whatever reaction you want, but that does help us in the algorithm. Then jumping across ADMA. It's a biotechnology company down 5.10%. And what actually surprised me there, they were actually pushed forward very early on in the day, but they did finish quite weakly. ATAI. If you're interested in any company developing antidepressants, ATAI is your bet. Beta Technologies, we said, was up 5.56. Ampax just seems to keep pushing forward. And do you know what I want to do with Ampax? I want to create a deep dive video on them. So maybe I can get that out tonight, an Ampax video. Are many of you still in them? Did you sell off? Or is it something you're looking into? You're doing them silicon batteries. Battery technology is one that I think is an industry that is lagging behind. I think AI seems to be the big boom. If we were speaking about battery technologies there about 5 years ago, I actually think there would have been a lot of excitement around it, but seems to be that there's not as much excitement about batteries, but people are starting to lean into them now. So Ampax and same again, if you want to get into that battery technology is EOS. EOS are a large storage of energy. So they'll be connecting if power from grids go down, is my understanding. I'm not sure about their management. I did hear that it was a little bit shaky, but someone jump in and correct. Rocket Lab went up 1.11%. Look, Rocket Lab, I think, is an absolute steal at the moment. It's down, what, around 25% from its all-time highs. I think Rocket Lab is set for massive, massive growth within the next 12 to 36 months, I think. Massive growth is expected. ASTI, Ascent Solar, this is the exciting one for me. Ascent Solar, I'm not usually into micro market caps, but I think Fast CNC is actually swaying me a little bit. Ascent Solar is one that does excite me, and it's semiconductors as well. IonQ, loads of you are interested in quantum. So didn't we say IonQ was a massive steal earlier on? It was around $31, climbed all the way to 33.11. IonQ finished at 6.12% up. RGTI. RGTI did finish 6.72% up. So Quantum was doing quite well today with Qubit doing 5.43%. So money seems to be flowing back into the sectors again. INFQ up 8.74% to 958 and FEIM to 577. IBRX, another massive performer today. 1098 all the way to 940. Any of you in IBRX? And then we have SoFi. SoFi is very interesting one. I think it's going to be a slow and steady battle with SoFi, but I think it's going to lead to astronomical growth. So I think SoFi is one definitely for the books. And then we spoke about Velo. One I want to add to the watch list, guys, because it is probably the worst performer in the S&P year to date, but I think it is an incredible company, is Robinhood. Robinhood finished 2.26% up, and I'm actually considering reopening a position in Robinhood. Anyone in Hood? Did anyone buy Hood originally, and as it sold off, would you re-enter? So, who was that again? That was Valo done the build for Falcon 9 rockets for SpaceX. When Velo almost collapsed, SpaceX gave them a bailout to buy up IP in event of bankruptcy, save the company. Love it. I'm still in Redwire, but I wish I was in Rocket Lab. Ooh, I thought you were originally in Rocket Lab, weren't you, my guy? Was Rocket Lab where we first originally met, or was it in Joby? I can't remember. IonQ and Hafna was my best gainers today. What is Hafna? Hafner Limited, marine shipping. Am I looking up the right company? HAFN. Is this a Norwegian company? Owns and operates oil product tankers in Bermuda. It operates through a long range. Also, it's a Singapore-based company. How bullish are you guys on any of the Asian markets? Do let me know. Then I'm still in Tesla, but didn't buy any more. I think Tesla is just a trade and trust. You want to get rich, I think you just keep buying Tesla, and you could probably forget about everything else. But you know what? We want to have fun along the way, so we go around it the hard route. Only move I made today was add in ODS. We'll see some interesting re-rates after Wednesday's call. Oh, guys, by the way, let me actually put up a poll here. Vertical Aerospace have earnings tomorrow. Do you want me to run Vertical Aerospace earnings prior to the opening bell? So, right, so please jump into that. Vertical Aerospace earnings tomorrow. Will I cover it? Yes, no, or you prefer me to do the opening bell instead? Tesla free, very focused on other stocks now. That's quite a solid average, my guy. And you're not seem to be wanting to add any more, is that? I only did a swing. I have a theory that the reason for UMAX dilution was to get sell allocation from Ampex through an acquisition of Upgrade Energy. Is that your theory, or have you any sort of leads behind that? Because I would be extremely interested to hear that. What's everyone expecting for the Joby versus Archer court case tomorrow? Will Archer be successful with the motion to dismiss Joby's original trade secret claims? I haven't really covered it that much because remember I came out there about 2 weeks ago and I said, "I don't really want to, get involved. I don't want more noise." Any lawsuits. Yes, I was making videos on them, but in the end, when Archer started bringing out lawsuits against Joby again, I just said, "Right, that was it." I wasn't covering the lawsuits, but I will cover that once we see what happens, but at the moment, I think I'm giving it more noise than it's worth. But no, thank you so much for the question. What do I think? I think it'll be dismissed. I don't think anyone wants the industry to be hurt, and especially after the IPP went out. I just don't think it'll go anywhere. It may get settled. You may just see a payoff. But I don't know. Jump in, let me know. Yes, Norwegian shipping companies often have HQ in Bermuda or Singapore, which makes the dividend tax-free, at least here in Sweden. Do you know what? In Sweden, what brokerage do you use? Because that would be very similar to what I should be using for this community, portfolio. I have Interactive Brokers set up there because Robinhood just seems to be a nightmare because I'm currently living over here. Um, they want proof of me living there for the last 180 days, which I cannot prove because I haven't been living there. So probably won't be able to get Robinhood anytime soon until it comes to them. However, I'm going for Interactive Brokerage, and once Robinhood comes to Ireland, then we can transfer all to Robinhood. Does that seem okay, guys? We talked about batteries in my last call with UMAX CEO. They're going hard into NDAA compliant batteries. Okay. Ray says, "Bro, Liam, take fresh garlic cloves and chop fine. Let's set 15 minutes. Add some ginger, mix with black green tea, even calabain." Do you know that calabain or whatever it's called tea? I hate that stuff. But green tea is not too bad, or black tea. Fair enough. When you get a chance, it works for me. Do you know what? I need something, don't I? To be fair, I was meant to do eVTOL Weekly last night, and there was not a chance I was able to do it. My throat was up, and I could barely speak. But this morning, I was a little bit better. I am getting quite better. I'm just more bunged up at the moment. But it is what it is. Thank you so much for the advice, though. 67% of you says cover vertical aerospace earnings tomorrow, and 33% says do opening bell instead. Okay, do you know what we may do? I could run vertical aerospace earnings, and we could do a market open stream after. But what we could do while vertical aerospace are speaking, I could mute myself and I could just flick through all the charts now and again. We'll mostly cover vertical aerospace, but I can flick through the charts while the bell opens. How does that sound, guys? Then I realize I can see there. It's quite horrible the way it's displayed my screen. It looks very like faded out, but that's because I've put myself on the screen. I may have to go back to how I used to do it. 75% of you says yes, cover vertical aerospace. Most people here in Sweden use some of the big national banks or the two big internet-only based brokers, but we can't use Robinhood here, sadly. Yeah, we're the same. I think it's something to do with the EU at the moment. You can use Robinhood crypto over here. I'm not interested in crypto, but yeah, um, there'll be no Robinhood for me for a while. But that does excite me because it's another untapped market. So I think Robinhood is very nice buy and just their growth is astronomical at the moment. Then let me jump in. Let's do another poll. So we will be covering vertical aerospace tomorrow then. Thank you so much for that. I promise there'll be less polls once I learn about you guys as an audience. And also, as we go through the community portfolio, what these polls will be used for is should I buy, should I sell? Someone can suggest a stock, and then we'll the audience, should we buy or sell? I think that way it'll be quite interesting to see as a community, as a democracy, can we create a profitable portfolio? You know, you're always going to get some melons try and corrupt everything, but as long as most of us stay fine, I think it'll be quite nice. Now, Right. Let me know. Did you buy any stocks today? Did you sell any stocks today? Did you do a bit of both, or did you just hold through this whole thing? I'm amazed how you can keep up with all of the crazy hours. You know what it is, yeah? Um, it's actually a nice little routine now because I can go on the farm very early on. I can then, like, for me at the moment, and it'll free me up even more once the 29th comes, because on the 29th, our clocks go forward. So then I can work on the farm till half two, then come here. Yes, I may have to take a few breaks now and again to run out, and especially as summer starts kicking in, I will probably have to be on the farm a little bit more again. But hopefully, we can work something out to still continue these streams on as much as we can. Then in the evening, look, what is it now? It's 8:30 for me. I do apologize. I was meant to be here for the closing bell, but I'm just so used to market close for me be at 9 o'clock. So I started the stream for 8:10, and then I realized it was only I fired up the app here and it said post market, and I was like, "You are joking." But yeah, it is what it is. Hey, this is great work you are doing. I am excited. See, Jernigan, thank you so much. Do you know what? Big respect for you for being a member, and you held that was a very smart thing to do. I did hold through today. And look, did I miss any opportunities to buy? Yes, I probably missed many, many opportunities to buy. But I'm still thinking Horizon Aircraft could go a little bit lower. I'm not calling for it to go lower, but I just think it's a little bit unstable at the moment. Am I adding? Do you know what? We need to add some tomorrow. But you'll see what I mean about the volume in this. Like, average volume of 30 days is 477. Volume was 496,000. Like, there's no volume in this. Market cap 76 million. Until volume increases, you won't really see um, much institutes sniffing around. Christian did buy Joby, and on that, Joby was a steal today. Did any of you jump in? I know Anne got 100 shares earlier, and Goatgains got 5 shares at 880. Apparently, there was a flash crash this morning in Joby Aviation, and anyone that had any orders in managed to steal up a little bit of Joby. So well done to any of you guys. Ray says I just agreed with Vertical Aerospace. I own shares of VTOL. Is VTOL a sticker? A ticker? Or did you mean to put eVTOL? Um, oh, Bristol. Okay. They're up 2.83%. Should we start covering Bristol a little bit more? So you own Bristol, Horizon Aircraft, Joby, and Archer. You're a nice diversification in eVTOLs. Do you own any other stock apart from aerospace, my guy? Christian says, "How do you feel about the time change? I think we should do away with it." Yeah, do you know what? Time change is a bit random, isn't it? I think it's random because, like, you change it back to then change it forward. I know it's all to do with the sunlight, but do you know what? I think we could just get used to that it just gets darker, doesn't it? We have to sort of deal with that anyway. And what I think is the most random thing, that the US and Europe don't change the clocks at the same time. That is an absolute shambles. I was nearly late to a stream there like 2 weeks ago until Dylan told me that, um, your clocks had changed because ours don't change until 29th. You Archer Bulls need to be looking at age group more, Andrew Omen. I agree with that, and I think Archer investors need to be looking a lot more towards that whole defensive side, whether it is the edge. Now, that Omen drone is for 50 Omen drone. It's a 3-year project. But with all this conflict going on, could we see that order get scaled up? Potentially. UAE is finding out how unprepared they are for this conflict, and I agree with you there, Chris. and bought more Joe being the pre-market, I can honestly see this going back under $9 again by the end of the week when the markets digest that Trump is still going for a reason. I agree with you. I don't think Trump's backing down with pulling out until that whole regime is defeated in Iran. So there's many ways to skin a cat, and I think Trump was is just buying time at the moment with this negotiations. I think Iran's best thing to have done today when Trump said about negotiations was to say nothing. Because the fact that the problem is they're poking there, and the one bear you don't want to poke is the US, because the US will come down on you like a hammer. And I think even Russia, like we've seen it in that post where Russia is advising them to speak diplomatic. And for Russia to be coming out and saying speak diplomatically to the US, I think Russia's afraid of what's happening. But then Russia did warn the US against going for the energy infrastructure in Iran because they said it was Russian built. So I don't know. I think Trump tried to put the pressure down, but I don't know how willing they were to go and do it, say tomorrow. I think if it keeps escalating, he'll have no choice but to go in. But I'm on the understanding if he starts attacking nuclear infrastructure there, you're gonna have, like, little Chernobyls everywhere, and the problem with that is Chernobyl got sealed over, where this won't get sealed over, and then what if you get a gust of wind blowing in the direction of Russia or China? I think that could cause big controversy. I'm fixing to cut a bit of Archer, then instead get more Horizon aircraft. Do you know what? I trust Archer until you get back at your cost basis, my guy. I don't wanna see you selling at a loss, but at the same time, look, people say I influence Archer Aviation, so if you're happy with selling for a loss, be my guest, jump out and do it, but I don't think it's all bad for Archer Aviation at the moment. I think we will get a nice recovery coming into the summer, so I just don't want you to lose money either. But more on this. That's all I did today. My new 2026 revenue target is 525 million. Last year's B times this year's guidance. That's their upgraded revenue target, isn't it? I seen that earlier today, and then you came into the chat and you let us know as well that they, adjusted their guidance. Right, so today we had 43% of people bought, no one sold, no one done a bit of both, and 57% held. That's actually a higher amount of people bought than I expected to buy. I bet you all bought in the AM in the morning before the rally. I call it a rally. Some of them stocks rallied like Intuitive Machines did, but I think some of them just recovered what they lost there on Friday. It's an interesting one because I think within the next few hours we could get another escalation. It seems to always happen around this time of day when the markets close. You get either threats or you get escalations in the war. So yeah, I accidentally pressed bought when I bought and sold different tickers. Oh, that is so frustrating. I done that ages a no, it wasn't I done that. I'll tell you what I done. Rocket Lab, it was when it was going around $40 or so, or is it 45? So on eToro, when you buy your shares, it automatically sets your take profit at 99 point or 999%. And unless you actually turn off take profit, it stays on. So I'm sitting there, next thing I'm getting all these notifications on my phone at the time. And I was like, what is happening? Now I did manage to jump in and buy them back for more or less what I sold them for, but at the same time I lost because of the tax. But yeah, that was one of my dreaded mistakes. Thank God I seen it then though, because I would have cried. Early bird gets the worm. That is completely true. It's quite interesting. So Anne bought in pre-market. Do many of you buy in pre-market, or do any of you trade after hours, or use 24-hour trading? Let me actually see that. Um, right, let me know. Have you ever bought, or do you, on an ongoing basis, attempt to buy or sell either pre-market or after hours, or attempt to use 24-hour trading? Um, I stick clear of it, but I know some of you, like Sian there, got an absolute steal this one. So if you do it right and you get some nice limit orders in, and you manage to get a flash crash, and I lost a little today because I thought it was a limit order and it was a market order. Do you know what? We live and we learn, and thank you so much for sharing that, because it's one of those things like myself with the take profit. Even if one person can learn, make sure to turn off take profit. And you may look past it and go, it's not going to 10x. But by the time it 10x's, you've completely forgotten about that take profit is on. And I would advise any of you to go back and check even some of your plays from a few years ago, because the longer it goes on, you're never gonna think of it until one day you just get a notification say you sold. So, yeah, and for something to go up 10x, it's gonna keep going, isn't it? I've bought into the wrong ticker stock before. Oh, that is painful. I've never done that. What did you do it in? No, not gonna lie, I've typed in the wrong ticker many, many times, and I would be sort of looking at it, and I'd be like, "That looks a bit weird," but nah, I've never attempted to buy it. Sold it right away and made a few bucks. But you know what? Fair play to you. I do mainly pre-market. Okay, pre-market, and then yes, but only sometimes if it's massively below max pain, makes sense to check why stock is down or up pre-market and after hours. Sometimes it's best to buy a little the next day or two. The trend continues. I'll sometimes set buys. I should be selling puts though. Do many of you do options? That could be an interesting one. 75% of you buy after hours or pre-market. I am in the minority there. I'm in that 25% that say no, they don't normally. And it's not even that I'm too scared. It's just I don't know. Maybe it is I'm too scared. I just think I don't know. I wait to see what's happening. But then you can see I'm a bit of a lazy investor too. Like, yes, I do all the content on it, but at the same time, I'm not rushing into the market to be buying and selling. Opportunities come and go. I think I like to look at the long-term time horizon, and yes, if it's nice to get the likes of, say, like Planet Labs ran up 30%, but at the same time, I'm one of those, unless I truly, truly believe in a company, I never really do quick trades. But some people make mad money. It was some Chinese company, can't recall the ticker. I accidentally bought a Norwegian retirement home. Oh, did you make on it? I doubt it. I hope you did, but I doubt it. I actually should be buying Google as they own YouTube, and statistics show that YouTube is becoming having more viewers than TV. What are you more bullish on, Google or Netflix? Netflix, I am surprised how much they have grown. I actually thought they were gonna sort of stagnate. They seem to be pushing forward. YouTube is quite good, but at the same time, when you look at Google, I don't even think let me bring up Google. When when we look at Google, I don't even like, YouTube is interesting, to be fair, it's what I do, so maybe I should be looking at the YouTube side of it, but I the amount of information they have on us due to us accepting terms and conditions, whether it's for Google Maps, whether it's for a search engine, whether it's for YouTube, etcetera, I think Gemini is going to be massive. And then Dylan has some really good thesis on Google and what Google going to next. I'm not gonna wreck that for him. I'll let him explain it to you one day. But, you wanna be bullish on Google, you speak to Dylan because he has some really good thesis. After hours are always good when earning reports after the bell, especially when the stock pumps on the news. That's one, yeah. Does anyone trade earnings? Let me put that up, yeah. So, does anyone trade earnings? Yes, no, or only if you have a big position in that stock and you don't really care when you buy it. So not necessarily if you've held it before, but just you don't actually mind where you buy it. Do let me know. A bit like Tesla, like whether you buy Tesla at 360 or you buy Tesla at 400, I just think um, you'll be happy out either way. What did everyone think about the Terafab? That was actually really exciting. Have you seen what they plan on doing in comparison to the Gigafactory? It is insane. Trying to learn the VFI indicator supposed to show when institutes are buying and selling, but I don't have solid proof on Webull. I I'll be honest, I'll always hold my hands up. I haven't a notion how to learn the VFI indicator. Once you do learn, feel free to come on and teach us about it. Or that sounds like something Chris would know. Chris is like our little plug. He seems to know an awful lot about the stock market. So, Chris, if you know anything about the VFI indicator, do let us know. I blame the whiskey. Liquidity is thin, but outside of hours can sometimes give outlier deals if you're at the right level in the spread. To be fair, it is. Anyone have an opinion? Okay, let's have a look at it. Synergen. We're at 196 at the moment. 26.62 million market cap. Where have we been? Ooh. I don't know if I like that, my guy, but we'll have a look. We'll get into which one was it? CYGN. Oh, am I looking at the wrong stock? Oh no, CYN. Yeah, I don't like that. Why the sudden push up? 1180 price. So I forget about that one analyst. Synergen is an autonomous vehicle technology company. It develops autonomous driving software in the United States. The company develops enterprise autonomy suite, which consists of drive mod, a modular industrial vehicle autonomous driving software, and Synergen Insight, a customer facing tool suite for monitoring and managing AV fleets and generating aggressive analyzing data. Also develop Synergen Evolve, an internal suite and infrastructure that facilitates artificial intelligence and machine learning to continuously enhance algorithms and models, as well as provide a simulation framework to ensure that data collected in the field can be applied to validating new releases. 58 employees from California. Financials. So total revenue seems to be climbing, but what happened in Q4 2024? Gross profit 19.157, operating profit negative 8.415. EBITDA of negative 7.895. Looking at the balance sheet, they have 34.8. Oh no, I'm looking annually. So 34.875 million in total cash and short-term investments. The total current assets of 39.08. They have property, plant, and equipment 9.198. Total assets 49.267. Current liabilities 3.912. Short-term debt seems pretty low. Long-term debt of 6.676 million. CYN. I don't know. Who did they supply? Let me have a look to see have they any contracts with anyone. Great. What are people saying? And CYN does what? You're going to have to look more specific. Looks like lots of companies that sound like the same thing, complicated tickers. What continent is the market traded in? Yeah, I knew doing this keen on Google. I think Google is making a smart investment. Buy options at the right time. Options too risky. Sounded cool. CYN are working with Nvidia. Do they just buy Nvidia chips though? Or do they have a contract with Nvidia? Let me have a look. Um, if they have a partnership with Nvidia, potentially, but if it's just that they're buying the chips, let's have a look. So ownership. Okay, so CYN. Okay. Let's see what this says. So Synergen featured in Nvidia article about building robots with AI, highlighting all the simulation and advanced robotics development. Features use of Nvidia's Isaac Sim to test drive forklift tower dynamics. I don't know. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go near that. I wouldn't touch it. I don't know exactly what their partnership means. I don't know. Is it a bit like a Archer Nvidia, Joby Nvidia, where they're more or less just supplying, but they're still going to have to pay for it. We can't really see any insiders, and no one's really bought or sold over the past while. They look like they're sort of going through like a restructuring or something. Where did I see it? Um, I don't know. I just don't like what's going on with them. They missed EPS by negative 20 cents. Um, yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest with you. And 7 days ago, they announced a 9.65 million direct offering. Yeah, nah, I'd be real. I wouldn't be jumping in. But look, that's not financial advice. Um, let's go across. Market cap, forgot to type that. 26.62 million for Sin, highly speculative. Yeah, it is. The market cap is, look at their 5-year chart down to 125. Okay. Is it terrible, my guy? Oh, okay, let me see if I can bring that across. So it's not even loading for me. But look, anything that says it's down 100%, you're more or less you're down 99.99999. So yeah, I wouldn't go near it. Also, Doc even pays out a 7% dividend. How are you doing with your dividend investing, my guy? I know you're quite big into it. I got about $1,000 riding on it. I just like the name though. Synogen is so cool. Do you know what? It's one of those. It's very speculative. I think if you can get a nice little pump on it, you may make a nice little learner. And yeah, not financial advice. You do what you want to do, but I know what I'd do. Do you know what? Would we run a poll? We'll see. Would people buy Synogen? That could be quite interesting. So, guys, would you buy CYN? Do let me know. I'm reading 8.19% for that. Sweet. Just double checking all them companies that them dividends do pay out. So I don't want you going in for mad high dividends and for them just not to pay regularly. So do just double check. Also, guys, smash that like button. Um, it really helps me out. And also, would you do one thing for me? Will you go back to the chat again? And remember, I said earlier, just keep pressing one of the reactions. Keep doing that. Do that about 20, 25 times. It really helps push us out. Um, especially as we're growing this whole project out, it really does help me out. So please jump in and do that for me. So what we'll do a roundup. Vu did go up 1.9%. Majority of you are expecting us to close this week green. I'm quite on the fence at the moment just because how quick this market can turn. I'm quickly going across the X to see have we got any updates since market close on the whole conflict. Oh, by the way, Dylan got sent his Joby Aviation merch. So make sure you're following Dylan is Dylan11 on X. Apparently, Iran has agreed to a 5-year freeze on their missile program. That's what's coming out now. Israel are still saying that they're not willing to pull out, and Israel are now coming out saying unless the US lift all sanctions against them and pay for all the war damage, the war will continue. And then 3,000 plus US Marines are set to arrive in the Middle East this Friday. So they're still speaking about boots on the ground. US also wants Iran to remove the 12 sea mines placed in the Strait of Hormuz. Um, I thought they would have planted a little bit more, wouldn't you? 12 doesn't seem that much, but it bloody would be if you ran over it, wouldn't it? Hustle Brothers, if you're a lazy investor, one thing I did was invest in CPB, a food company in the USA that has quarterly dividends of 39 cents. Then I sold calls above my average. That's actually smart. To me, that's a double dividend, but there are risks if the stock continues to decline. If you need the money soon and you sold off long dated cover calls, weekly pay more, but require paying attention. That's actually really smart, by the way. For some lazy money, I think Boeing and Toyota are at a discount. I know we speak about how big Toyota is, especially with Joby Aviation, and I think they're a great company, but, I just any of them motor companies, I wouldn't go near. The only motor company I'd be invested in is Tesla. On the dividend side, SGov isn't bad for money on sitting on the sidelines. They're going in for sure. This track, big shout out, Mike Guy. Thank you for coming a member the last day. It's not going to happen after market closes Friday. We will have more bad news. I'm sort of in the same boat as you. I think it's all market dependent at the moment. I think Trump seeing how much the market sold off, and I think any type of escalation, such as attacking their energy infrastructure, would have been catastrophic. And I think it's sort of bought him more time, and I think it's put pressure on Iran as well. We've said it. Who has read Trump's book, The Art of Making a Deal, where whether he spoke to them or not, he's gonna double down, or he's gonna threaten something, then he's gonna double down on it, and then he's gonna say there's a deal coming, kind of giving you a get out of jail free card. Now Iran doesn't seem to be taking the bait at the moment, and they seem to be wanting to push forward, but at the same time, look, it is what it is. I think Israel are very, very silly to go against what the US are saying. But look, I feel like they think the US will back them. And the problem is, I think the US will back them if it started elevating even more. I think the US would be back in a heartbeat. They would have to put a lot more sea mines, but they got other thank God they did, because they are just madmen. I think Boeing is important for diversification because they have their own eVTOL subsidy. Do you know what? Boeing is a solid company no matter what people say about the problems they have had over the past few years. I think Boeing is a solid company. Billy Bob Thornton just got a 1-year deal advertising for VG. Lamb and show for all you Irish. Yes, Boeing. Embraer, good too. Are many of you guys invested in the airliners? I'm not actually mad about investing in airliners either. You'd think it's quite strange for me investing in the eVTOL space, but they don't excite me. I don't know what it is. I feel like eVTOL's a nice balance between the lot, isn't it? Right. Let me double check. I promise you, hopefully tomorrow we will have a portfolio that we can actually start doing bits with. Also, if you're new here, do smash that subscribe button. I promise you, we're losing subscribers since we've started doing these live streams. People don't like it. So I need to see your appreciation. If I don't see the appreciation, I will go back to doing videos just because I am being absolutely butchered. Like, let me go back to that. There you go. See, you've seen the last day we were at 4712, and you've seen over the past few weeks, I'd be getting what 10 to 15 per video. So yeah, you've seen since we started doing the live streams, it just be dropping off. So do smash that subscribe button. Right. Yeah, look, 15 likes. We need what? Get us up to 20 likes, and we can continue this on a little bit. Do both videos and live. Yeah, I'm trying to amalgamate both in, not gonna lie. Last few days just I am absolutely dying. Get your Teslas up, dogs, get your Teslas. I'm not gonna bring what else you said up there. Do videos that last forever topics, do live for daily stress. Um, yeah, in the VTOL space, it's quite hard to do evergreen content, okay, but yeah, I do get what you mean. Like, in this whole investing space, people want the most up-to-date news. So there's certain things you can do. Um, yeah. Liam, did you get my suggestion that you should post a proportion of your eVTOL holdings and prioritize your favorites? I remember that. You actually said that and actually change it each week, depending on what I do. That's something we could do. We could actually I could put it on the screen. Put it on this screen because I actually have a ticker rolling along the bottom like we have the tickers rolling across the top, and we could do first, second, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree with that idea. I think that idea is actually quite solid. High oil is bullish for eVTOL. I'm like, number 16. What? DDD, you get an F4 pass. Right, guys. Um, I do thank you for hitting the like button, but my God, I can't bring it up. I do find it funny though. LMFAO. Right, guys, do you know what? I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do about eVTOL Weekly. I may be back on in about an hour or so to do eVTOL Weekly. If not, I will drop another video. We'll see what's going on. I am 95% sure that we should have a portfolio ready for tomorrow. Um, I'm hoping it's gonna be for opening bell. We will cover vertical airspace in the morning. We'll then run into market opening, and then we'll do a market closing. And then, of course, after market closing, wait a minute, today is Monday, isn't it? Yeah. So tomorrow, yeah, we're gonna do for aviation podcast as well. So guys, do wait around for that. I believe losing some subscribers is just because all stocks are going down. It's not because you're doing lives. Keep up. I love the live streams. No, thank you to you, gentlemen. Uh, yeah, do you know what? I think what it is too is the amount of content I put out. People do get sick of, do you know what, you keep seeing same person coming up. There's no hard feelings about it, but I do know I get a lot of growth from putting videos out. But no, I will. I'll keep up with the live streams. I do enjoy them more. At least we get to chat to you guys and we get to discuss things to go along. But yeah, my name's Ian, one of the Hustle Brothers. Do smash that like on the way out. Also, before you go, hit that react. Keep reacting until the live stream goes completely blank. Even when it goes blank, keep reacting because it does share me out to the algorithm. Right, guys, thank you so much, and I might actually see you later. So yeah, I'll see you later. Right, guys.